Reading the Progress Report, Morton District 201. In this presentation, we will have two objectives. We will start with the 4 sections of a progress report. Once we've covered those 4 sections, we will then use that information to show how the progress report may be used to improve a student's grade. Progress reports are sent out after 5 weeks of class. In this example, this was progress report number 5. The title is listed at the top. The date when the data was pulled from the gradebook is listed on the top right corner. In this circumstance, it was February 28th. Any information after February 28th will not be included in this progress report. The 4 parts of a progress report include academics, attendance, the grading scale, behaviors. I'd like to start with academics. Each class on the progress report is listed separately, with the skills included beneath the letter grade. For example, AP English, this student received a D. For American History, this student received a D. Spanish for Spanish speakers, this student received a B. Advanced Algebra, this student received a C. And for Junior-Senior cross-training, this student received an A. The next question should then be, how is the grade determined? In the past, grades were based on points at Morton. The more points you earned, the higher your score. This could have been on homework, tests, or projects. Today, grades at Morton are based on student mastery of the standards. How well can you demonstrate that you understand the standard? Assignments are put into one of 2 categories at Morton. This includes formative, which makes up 10% of the grade, and summative, which makes up 90% of the grade. Formative may include items like homework and quizzes. Formative represents any assignment that is practice or is used to check for understanding. Summative may include common assessments, projects, or labs. Summative assignments are used to demonstrate how well a student understands the standard. Each class is broken down by skills. These skills are related to the college and career readiness standards and are determined by teams of teachers. In this example, AP American History, there are 5 skills that make up the class. These include AP Content Knowledge, Social Studies skills, reading, writing, and finally listening and speaking. The team of teachers then further break down the skills and give each skill a weight in the class. Here, AP Content Knowledge is 25%, Social Studies skills were 5%, reading 20%, writing 20%, listening and speaking 10%, and the final exam is 20%. In this class, which skill would have the greatest impact on the grade? This is AP Content Knowledge, which is 25% of the grade. In this class, which skill would have the least impact on the grade? And in this circumstance, it is Social Studies skills, which is only weighted at 5%. Remember, weightings are based on the college and career readiness standards. Our progress report had 5 skills listed for this class. But on this example, we see 6 different items listed. The question becomes, why is the final exam not listed on the progress report? The reason is that a skill that has not yet been covered will not be listed on a report. Since the final exam is given as the last item in class, it will not show on progress reports until there is something included in that category. Here we find a progress report of a student in AP American History. In this example, the student has received a B in class. The grade mark legend is always found at the second page top right corner. In this case, we can see that the student received between a 3 and a 3.9, which is of course a B. Now if we look at each skill, we see that in AP Content Knowledge, the student received a 3.0, which equals a B. Social Studies skills, the student received a 4.6, which is an A. Reading skills, 4.3, which is an A. Writing skill, a 1.6, which is a D. And speaking and listening, a 2.8, which is a C. The question becomes, how would this student improve their grade? The first place to look would be in writing, where they received a 1.6 or a D. Students have the ability to log into Skyward and access their grades at any time. This is the screen for the class that was just listed. If you look closely, the first area is AP Content Knowledge. That is listed at 25%. The percent is found at the top right corner. Social Studies skills are weighted at 5%. Reading is listed at 20%. Skill writing, 20%. Listening and speaking, 10%. And the final exam is listed at the bottom. The skill that we wanted to discuss was writing. This student had 3 assignments in this category. On the first assignment, titled Marcus Garvey, the student received a 3.0. In the second assignment, called FRQ 8, the student received a 2.0, which is a C. In the third assignment, 7 FRQ, the student receives a 0.5, which is an E. In this case, if a student wanted to change their grade, they would speak with the teacher and request a redo of the 2 assignments with low scores, the ERA 7 FRQ and the ERA 8 FRQ. The second choice on how to improve a student's grade would fall to the speaking and listening. In this situation, the student received a 2.8, which is a C. As we zoom in on the speaking and listening category from Skyward, we would quickly see that the bottom 4 assignments are all 5.0, which is an A. Unfortunately, posting 7, 6, and 5 are all listed as incomplete. Here, the student would submit these assignments to improve their grade. After the assignments have been put in the system, the student would use Skyward Access to monitor the progress, to be sure that the grade was an appropriate grade, and if it was not, request a redo. The redo retake policy. The first step is to talk to your teacher to see which part of the standard you did not master. The second step, review the material to find out what you missed the first time around. The third step, complete any assignment or assignments required by the teacher. And the fourth step is to retake the assessment. You would schedule a time with your teacher. Don't wait. Students have 1 week from receiving a grade to request the retake. It is smart to talk with your teacher immediately to stay on track and to improve your achievement. You will need to speak to your teacher to find out your teacher's specific procedures. And then lastly, check your grades often. Make it a habit. Do it every day. Don't wait. The second part of our progress report is attendance. Attendance is listed on the top of the second page. Here you can see that it's organized by periods. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. The absence total is the second row. Here they have summed the excused and unexcused absences together. One thing that should stand out here is that this student has 2 unexcused absences during third period. What happened during third period? The next line would be tardies. Tardies are listed at the bottom line, and in our case, the student has had no tardies. The third part of the progress report is the grading scale. The grading scale is found at the top right corner of the second page. Here we can see the entire grade mark legend. A 4.0 to a 5.0 is an A, which is deemed as advanced or exemplary. A 3.0 to a 3.9 is a B, which is proficient. A 2.0 to a 2.9 is a C, which is basic. A 1.0 to a 1.9 is a D, which means the student needs improvement. Finally, a 0 to a 0.9 is an E, which means the student is not passing. The fourth part of the progress report is the behavior section. Morton has behaviors listed separately than academics. Academics only includes the knowledge, the mastery that the student has gained. Behaviors include things like effort, being prepared, completing work on time, and social skills. Let's look a little further into these skills. The behavior section of the progress report is commonly known as our PBIS system. Positive Behavior Intervention Supports. This can be found in the middle of the second page. Here you can see that 2 separate teachers, Consumer Education and AP English 8, these 2 teachers have left comments for the student in their class. When a teacher provides feedback for a student concerning their behaviors, they do so within 3 categories. The first category is academics. Things that may be included in academics would be, does the student complete homework on time? Is the student prepared for class? Does the student take advantage of the teacher's help? The second category would be pro-social. Items that may be included under pro-social would include how well the student works in a group. The third category would be problem solving. Here we look at how well the student can solve a challenge. A student will receive a separate rating in each category: academics, a separate rating for pro-social, and a separate rating for problem solving. This is ranked on a scale of 3 to 1. 3 means that the student is exemplary. The student demonstrates this skill consistently every single day. A 2 would mean the student is on target. The student demonstrates the skill on most days, but does require a few reminders. And a 1 would mean that a student must be reminded often to demonstrate this skill. In this presentation, we had 2 objectives. What are the 4 sections of a progress report? And how may the progress report be used to improve a student's grades? If you have any questions that were not addressed in this presentation, feel free to contact your building administrator. The names and email addresses are listed below. Thank you for your time, and go Mustangs!